Most people think minimalism is about getting rid of things. I think it's about discovering what was never really yours to begin with. When you're surrounded by other people, it's surprisingly easy to inherit routines, habits, schedules, and even preferences without realizing it. Then one day you find yourself doing things you've always done but can't explain why. Living alone forced me to confront that question, and what I discovered changed how I think about freedom, values, and the life I'm actually trying to build. The first area is how our environment shapes our identity often. We don't just choose habits, the environment chooses many of them for us. Roommate schedules, shared meals, shared entertainment, shared cleaning standards, shared sleep patterns. Sometimes we mistake adaptation for preference. The second area is how freedom reveals priorities. Once no one else is around, what do you still do? What do you stop doing? What naturally remains? Those answers reveal values more accurately than intentions. The aspect of freedom from, that's often the beginning and the easy part, what we can get rid of. But then the second question often is, now that I have freedom to do what? This time, energy, and space. If you have an abundance of it, there can be a weight of, I don't want to misuse this freedom. What's the best way to use it? So that's why it's important to also identify what you want the freedom to engage in. But the first step can always be, what do you want freedom from? The third area is minimalism as subtraction. Many people are trying to add their way to clarity. More productivity systems, more goals, more possessions, more commitments. But clarity often comes from removing things until what remains becomes obvious. Stacking obligations, responsibilities, all in the goal of being able to pursue what your determinant of freedom is, can be effective for you. But the more we add regarding trade-offs, the more we always take away. So if we're able to have the approach of removing certain processes or structures or routines, and result we gain more time, more clarity, more capacity for the things that we truly value and want to spend our time on. The fourth area is regarding sustainability over optimization. One of the most valuable questions is, would I still do this if nobody expected me to? If not, maybe it isn't sustainable. A lot of self-improvement collapses because it was built around external pressure. Therefore, being able to identify what you can consistently do that you value, that doesn't have to pertain to anybody. Of course, other people can benefit. You can decide to share it if you want. But without that external pressure or expectations, being able to let that go, we can often identify and shed complexity that results in more fatigue and takes away from the real engagement, process, or routine, or actions that bring us the most value and contentment. The fifth area is the hidden cost of possessions. Every possession asks for attention, cleaning, maintenance, storage, and decisions. Minimalism isn't removing objects, it's also reducing cognitive load. For example, if you have an abundance of clothes, we experience decision fatigue trying to decide what we're going to wear. And once we have experienced too much decision fatigue, we will default to our favorites that might range from 5 to 15 options. Therefore, that can highlight the excessive nature of having too many choices, too many possessions, too many things that occupy our mind, our attention, and it diverges it away from what we would prefer our energy and attention to invest in, to engage with, things we find enjoyable instead of things that are I don't want to say empty, but things that are routine. Being able to have less friction regarding automatic daily responsibilities or obligations that allows us to have more capacity to wrestle through resistance, to embrace challenge in those areas that we find enjoyable. But if you find it to be enjoyable to spend an abundance of time choosing which clothes or outfit you want, that's your perspective as well. The sixth area, the real question. Instead of what should I add to my life, ask what can I remove that isn't serving me. That question often creates more freedom. By the time I turned 30, I realized minimalism wasn't helping me own less. It was helping me need less. And the less I felt compelled to chase, maintain, or prove, the easier it became to see what I genuinely valued. If something resonated with you, consider leaving a comment below and sharing what felt most impactful. To support the channel, you can like, subscribe, and or share this video with someone who you feel might also benefit. Additional ways to support the channel can be found in the links in the description below. You will also find a link to my website, cravingfreedom.com, where you can access my ebooks. On the website, you can also find descriptions of what to expect from the ebooks. And if you feel ready to commit to your path towards freedom and are seeking in-depth guidance and support, consider applying for one-on-one coaching. Answers to frequently asked questions can also be found on the website. Thank you for your time.